straight down to the chest. I got you. Back up. 1. You got 10 of these.
Hello, and thank you for watching Our Global Voice. This is part of our ongoing series on crime. Today we're talking to Mr. Charles Kidd, who owns Kidd Sports Gym in Oak Park. And we'll see what he has to say about crime.
8. 2 more. Good job. 1 more. Nice and easy. Push out. Push out. Good job.
First question, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here in this gym and in the community?
Well, I started working in this community about 24 years ago over at the Oak Park Community Center. And I saw the need for a facility similar to what I have for the youth, as well for some of the other people that didn't have the resource to get the 24-hour fitness or gold gym. And so a young lady and I decided to start up a gym at Powell Community Center around the corner. And from that point, we've touched on many different kids' life from all walks. A lot of the kids from Sac High have been in here that's gone on to Division I schools. And that's the purpose of Kidd Sports Gym in the Oak Park community.
But when I say crime in the black community, what kind of thoughts come to your mind?
Well, in this community, and being here as long as I have, I've seen a lot of young African American as well as Hispanic young kids go off to prison. And from my take and my take only, the reason is because the kids in this community don't have anything to do. You know, each year the crime rate in this community goes up. And it goes up because the kids, they don't have anything to do over here other than, you know, some of the stupid things that they do. And the majority of kids that we see go is what? Kids of color. I mean, the teen program is limited. The after-school program is limited because of the funding. So most of the kids are just what? Walking the street. And when the kids don't have anything to do, what do? They commit crimes.
I know you have a personal story about crime, and if you want to share it, maybe you can pass along something that you're comfortable with that might help a young mother or some other kids understand how easy it is to get caught up in crime.
Well, I don't have a problem discussing that. I have a son who's in jail now, probably for the rest of his life, because of crime, because of some things that he chose to do that he should not have done. Some of the company that he kept that he probably should not have kept. And he is doing, I don't have a problem saying it, 73 years. And it touched me as a parent, it touched me as a father to have a son, such as my son, to be caught up in a situation like that. Again, the resource that our kids have is very limited. And a lot of the times kids go out and find other things to do other than positive things, because truly we look at the situation, what is positive for our kids to do? And I don't mind I hope you don't mind if I go here. And when our kids commit crimes, when they go in front of the judge, a minister, you know, they are faced in another situation, and in another situation again, my son committed the crime, but 73 years is what he was given, and that's a little extent for the crime that he committed. I mean, there's guys that commit murder and don't get 73 years.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. I had an interview with a judge before, and we were talking about the lengthy sentences that some of the young folks get. And I think what is happening is that some of the kids are being tried in adult court versus juvenile court, and juvenile court seems to be focused on correcting the behavior versus punishing. Can you comment on maybe what's driving this crime in these young folks, and particularly why are they so quick to pick up weapons and go to the extreme with some of this crime?
Well, from my experience, and let me go back a little, I left out something. I've been a foster parent for 15 years. Okay. So I often get some of the kids that system say is not going to succeed. And often the kids that come into my home leave my home with a high school diploma. A lot of the kids that leave my home go on off to college because they are placed in a situation where there's hope, where there's a tunnel that they can take, and at the end of the tunnel there's a reward. Today, a lot of the kids that's in certain situations, there's no end to that tunnel. And basically in the inner city, most of the kids, what do they look at every day? When they walk out of their home, what do they see? Crime. You know, the last thing some of these kids see or hear before they go to bed is a helicopter flying over their roof, or gunshots. When they go out to play, they're playing with kids that's saying, I'm a blood, I'm a Crip, I'm something other than a person that want to succeed, a person that want to go off to college, a person that want to graduate from high school. This is what our kids are seeing. Our kids are not seeing libraries open in the community. There's not a library in Oak Park. There's not a library in Oak Park. There's not a place for a lot of our kids that go to school can come and sit and do their homework on a computer. And most of the schools today, what do the teacher give kids homework off of? Computer. And I'm saying this because I work at the only location, and that's Oak Park Community Center. That closes at 8 o'clock, and it's open 2 days a week now. So, you know, if a kid doesn't have something to do, resource to get the education, or get the foundation that they need to grow, of course it's going to go bad. Of course, if a kid see they partner with a gun, or doing stuff with gun, or calling themselves gangbangers, sooner or later, peer pressure, going to lead that kid to what? To that life. And that's what's happening in the inner city right now.
What programs have you seen that you think are working and that maybe need to be expanded? And what programs would you like to see come online? What are we missing out there? What are we not doing?
Well, we need to educate. We need to have some form of educational program in the inner city where after school the kids have a place to go to. I recall back when I first came to Sacramento years and years ago, the community center had a teen program. We had 30, 40 kids in that teen program, and things were done structurally for the kids as far as field trip, as far as different activity at that community center. Today these kids don't have that. I mean, these kids get out of school, most of them go home, there's no homework, most of them go home, there's probably no food in the refrigerator, most of them go home to a house, perhaps there's no lights. So, you know, we need to figure out a way to create some structure program for our kids. The community center, again, is open 2 days a week. You know, that's unheard of. You know, that community center has saved a lot of life. And I hope it's not a problem with me saying this. The mayor that we have in Sacramento today was an active student over at Oak Park Community Center, over at Power. And if it wasn't for locations like that, you know, you got to ask the question, would he be our mayor today? Would he have been able to go on off to Berkeley and pursue his education? You know, there was support. There's no support today.
Where do you think our black leaders have performed poorly on this question of crime in the black community? And then how do we correct it?
Well, when we speak of African American or black leaders, you got to ask the question, and I often say this, and I mean, I'm a person that speaks how I feel. You know, some of our black leaders are leaders for the wrong reason. We have right here in Oak Park numbers of nonprofit organizations that target our youth, but yet the crime rate in Oak Park, that Paso Heights, Valley High, steady going higher. So, you know, we got to ask the question, who are we touching as black leaders, as black men or black or women, who are we touching as far as getting these kids to understand the importance of an education, the importance of not going out and getting involved in gangs, or getting involved in murders, or getting involved in riding in stolen cars. Who are we touching? And there's a lot of program that's in the community that's supposed to be for our kids. But the question is, who are we touching? We need to use our research. We need to get out and make some of these kids believe that there is hope and opportunity out there, and not talk about it, because so many of us talk about it but don't go out and do what needs to be done to make it happen.
Well, thanks for the interview. I will give you any last word, any thought, anything that you wanted to pass on to people that I didn't ask you.
Well, I'd like to say this. Opal community is not a bad community. It is a place where it's growing. It is a place that you can come in and be happy and be safe. It ain't as bad as a lot of people make it. Kids Sports Gym is, we've been here in this location over 3 years. We've been across the street over 3 years. So we've been central right here for over 6 years. We've been at Powell for 3, so they're looking at 9 years. It is a facility that's open to the community. Would like to have more support, not only from adults, but also from the kids. I mean, that's the purpose of this program being here. We do have a study room, a computer where the kids can come in and do their homework. We have printers where they can print their homework out. It ain't the best, but it works. And it helps you get what you need to get done to go on to the next level. And that's what Kids Sports Gym is all about.